Hi everybody, this is Maria with SweetSerenityStamping.com, and I just wanted to bring you this sweet little, got a surprise in it. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but it's a cute little box, and I have a little happy birthday on there, and I just love this box. I think it came out adorable. But I'll show you what's in the inside in just one second. I just wanted to let you know that I'm sorry for having some of my videos a little scarce in the last couple weeks. I have been on vacation, a well-deserved vacation, and I just got back. So I decided I better go ahead and get out some videos because I hadn't done that in a couple weeks. So I'm sorry about not having any videos out there, but I am back from my vacation, and I brought this really sweet box to you. Now, I showed you it a little up close a minute ago. I love this color, and it almost matches my nails. It's too funny. This is Blackberry Bliss, and this is the cardstock. This paper that I'm using is from the Moonlight Designer Series paper, and that is that 4.5 by 6.5 inch of Designer Series papers. And they come in a pad of 48 sheets, and I love using those little small sheets of paper because when you're doing a smaller project like this and you don't need big paper and you don't want to waste those sheets of paper, those 4.5 by 6.5 inch size paper comes in great for projects like this, and I will show you that paper in just a little bit. And I used this here is the Flower Patch polymer stamp set, and they have framelits that go along with this, so you can cut those out. So you just stamp them, and then you cut them out with your framelits, and you run them through your Big Shot, and they come out beautiful like this. It is in a bundle package that you can get. And whenever you're on Stampin' Up! And you want to get really good bargains, always go for the bundle packs because you save 15% off right off the bat with these bundle packs. And this is a bundle pack. So if you want to check this out, I will put that at the bottom of my video if you like doing something like this rather than the Christmas project that I'm going to show you. And I know you're probably crazy saying you're doing Christmas in October, but trust me, I am one of those people that loves Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year, and I try to do as much Christmas stuff as I can. It was starting in October to get through that December month, and so I thought I would bring this box to you in a Christmas version so you can see the difference and see if you like the two. But this is what my little box is, and we just open this box. You just pull up this flap here, and you open up the box, and as you can tell, it reveals a gift card. And I just love that. Look at this beautiful, this is the deco label right here that we will be using. It's one of the punches. And then we have like little slits here, and we will be doing that little bit of cutting with an X-Acto knife. And people get scared of X-Acto knives, but this is very simple, very easy to cut. The slits aren't very, very much. They're not very long, and you just want it big enough so that you can slide that card inside it. As I show you, I always show you this JCPenney gift card because it's the only one that I have that's not being used, but I always use that as my example. And then this, I just took some Rolos, and I wrapped them in the matching paper that is on the top here, and I thought that'd be kind of cute to also give like a 2-in-1. So they got a gift card, and they also have a little bit of candy, and who can't resist candy? It's amazing. And these are the other papers here. This is the other Moonlight Designer Series paper that comes in a little pack. This one here, and then that here is from that paper pack. So if you're interested in that, like I said, I will link that at the bottom of the video. And I love it. Look, I just put a little bow on it, made it really cute. So this is what I want to show you today, but it is going to be in a Christmas version. So I hope you will stick around for me to let you show that. And we are going to start that off right now. And I will just kind of leave this right here so you can kind of get at least look at it a little bit if you need to. Today we are going to be using Sahara Sand cardstock. Now this piece of cardstock is 9 inches by 7 inches. And I went ahead and I previously scored this so that it wouldn't my videos seem to be running long because I talk too much. So I went ahead and pre-scored this ahead of time, and I will give you those measurements right now. So on the 9-inch side, okay, I don't know if you can see, but there are some score marks, so you can see it a little bit right there. This first score mark here is at the 1. The next one is at the 4-inch, the 5-inch, and the 8-inch. Okay, hopefully you can see those score marks there. Okay, then you do a turn it 90 degrees. So now that you are on the 7-inch side, and you want to score at the 1-inch and at the 6-inch. And now you can see those score lines really good right there. So that's all we have to do for this piece here. So this is a 9x7, and those are the score marks. And this is Sahara Sand, which we will be working with today. This is Garden Green, and I know you're thinking, what does Sahara Sand have to do with Christmas colors? But if you see my papers that I'm going to be working with, you'll understand why I chose this color. You will also need a piece of Garden Green cardstock. This is measuring 7 inches by 5, and I already, like I said, previously did my score lines. I think you can see them a little bit. There's a little, there you can. There's a good shot right there. And so on the 7-inch side, you are going to want to score at 2 1/4, 3 1/2, and 4 3/4. And that's all you need to do on this piece of paper right now. Now don't worry about getting these measurements. I will have them within the video, and you can see them as I am scoring, or as I am telling you. You can see I'll have all the score marks underneath or inside that video for you guys, so you won't have to worry about going back and saying, what did I say? They'll be in the video. So today, this is the paper that I am using. And I love this new designer series paper. This is from, I will bring it up here. It's called Trim the Tree. And this is what I'm talking about these 4.5 by 6.5 sheets of designer series paper in this little pack. Smaller projects is wonderful. These, even card making is wonderful for these. I just love this. You get 48 sheets, 4 of each design. So like, what's that? 8 designs or so. And they're double-sided. And I'm just going to flip this through a little bit so you can kind of get a look of what paper you are getting. But look at these. Yeah, if I don't knock it over. Look at the sheets of paper in here. I just love the designs in here. It's a great Christmas paper stack. I am so into Christmas right now, and it's really bad. I've got the Christmas fever already. So this is the pack that I worked with today, and it is called Trim the Tree. So those are the papers we'll be working with. I chose this little star design here. This piece of paper is going to be the top of the box, so it'll be this piece right here, the top right here. This is 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. So that is this piece here. I also have 2 sheets, and these 2 sheets will go, if you've seen inside this box. One was at the top, one was kind of at the bottom. They're both the same size. These two are 4 7/8 by 2 1/8, and you need 2 of those for the inside of the box. And then I thought, just get a piece of Whisper White. Just a scrap piece. I've done a lot of my stamping already ahead of time, but I thought, I need to show you guys how to do a little bit of stamping, especially with these very, very cute little polymer stamp sets. And I love these. We are working with Christmas trees today. This is called the Festival of Trees, and I just love this. You get several designs. You can get like a little star you can put on top. These here are just adorable. You can put them on top of these to give them like little bulbs and a garland. And this bird, I had to use this little bird. He is the cutest thing ever. I had to use him. And then you get like a little Christmas tree stand. I mean, I just love this set. This is what they look like. As you can see, they've been worn. This has a little bit of staining to it because I used cherry cobbler. These will stain. It's their polymer. Polymer usually stains, has no effect on how these come out, okay, and how your stamping comes out. They just stain. Do not be alarmed. They will do that. So that's one thing I wanted to let you know about that. And also, we'll be using this Christmas tree punch here, and it's not really a Christmas tree punch. It's just called a tree punch, but as you can see it right there. And that's how we will be stamping, or how we will be punching, excuse me, out our trees. And this here punch with this stamp set is a bundle set. So like I said, when you can get those bundle sets, they're a little bit cheaper for you guys, 15% off when you buy them in the bundles. And these are in the new catalog that came out in June. So definitely take a look at these. I love this set. It's like one of my favorite sets. So that's what we will be using today to cut out the trees. So I'm going to move this box out just a little bit, and let's go ahead and get started, because sometimes I keep talking and things just sometimes don't get done on time. So anyway, we already went ahead and I told you what size. This is the 9x7, and I gave you the score marks. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to give this a cut. And I'm going to tell you where to cut in just a minute. I was grabbing my bone folder because I forgot that. So on this piece of paper, okay, there's only one part that you have to really be careful of when you cut this. Okay, so you have, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to start over here. This is my first cut line. I will cut from here to the score line. Okay, these are going to be our flaps. So just cut here to the score line, and then I'm going to cut a little bit off here. Okay, then here we will cut the next, just go up to that score line. There's 2 more cuts right here because these are our flaps, and I will just take a little bit off right there. I like to notch them out because when you fold it, these flaps over, it'll be a lot, it won't be so bulky. So let's go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Well, now that I showed you, okay, so we got to cut here on our score line, we got to cut here on our score line, cut here on our score line, and as you see, there's another score line here, right down here. You don't want to cut this one. You want to cut this way. So we are going to turn our paper and cut this way. This is the only thing that's different, because this is going to be the top of our box. So we have a score line there, we have a score line right here, if you can see. Okay, and I'm going to cut down this way to that score mark, because like I said, that is the top of our box. So now we're going to turn around and we'll go back and we'll cut these score lines just like we did on the other side. So I cut here, and you cut right here. And it doesn't matter if you want to score or if you want to notch in, it doesn't matter. I just notch in just a little bit, basically on the same side as I did that notch, I did that notch. And then one more here. Okay, so that's all the cutting we will be doing. Now we want to go ahead and we want to crease on our folds. So I'm going to start doing that right here. Just fold them over and give them a good crease with your bone folder, because this is a box. You want to get this box, make sure it is creased very well, because you want a sharp looking box. So let's keep doing that. Okay, go around here. Do this one here. Okay, so basically that's all done and creased. We'll go around here and do this side, and you can go ahead and flap all these over if you want to, and then just go crease, just crease all the way down like that if it's easier for you. Okay, we have a couple more score lines to crease on right here and right here, and then one more over here. I want to crease. So now that we have all of our crease lines done, like I said, these flaps right here that we did the other, like not going this way, cutting into these ones here. So basically, remember I told you cut, 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 and don't cut on this one here, go this way. Okay, this is the top of our box. Okay, so our top of our box, we will do is we will put some adhesive here, and this will go like so. Okay, so we need to turn it over and put some adhesive. Now I do have something new that's called Fast Fuse. This is the first time I'm using it. They say it is exactly like using the red sticky tape. I can't talk. So if you want to use either one of these two, that will definitely work. Do not use the snail because it won't hold. So either one, I'm going to be trying this for the first time. Hopefully it will be working just fine for me. So I heard this is a different way of doing it. when you use this fast fuse, they say to do it like a check mark. You make a line, and then you do it like a check mark, and you pull it. Okay, so you make a line. Well, it's stuck. Well, there it is. See, this is what happens. You get some extra glue with this fast fuse if you don't do it correctly. So I go down and I check it off. And that will leave, let me get a little bit more tape up here. If I can get this to work, there it is. I just did not have my, see, so go down and check it off. And then this way you won't have, see, go down, check it off. And this way you won't have to worry about pulling up the little paper and everything on here. Like I said, I am new at using this, so it seems so far to work very well. I like it. So we're going to go ahead and just fold our flaps over and match them up. Okay, and it's, if they're a tad bit off, like this one here is just a tiny bit, sometimes we will get a tad off. I'll just go down here and just kind of snip it off. It's not a big deal to do that. You don't have to do that, but I don't know. I try to strive for perfection. Sometimes it doesn't always work. So now we have these flaps are going to go inside here. These flaps are going to go inside here. So you can see our box is starting to take off. Okay, so what we want to do is flip it back over, and we want to put adhesive on these 4 pieces. And I'm going just to lay it this way and get my fast fuse. Once again, push it down, flip it, push it down. See, sometimes when you don't do it correctly, down and up, okay? Down, check it off like a check mark basically, and see, it cuts it off. It cuts that tape off, so it doesn't keep carrying on. So, like I said, for the first time I'm using this, I think it's working pretty well. Okay, so now we have our tape on that. I'm going to put a little bit more tape. I just want to make sure I have my box secure. Hopefully you've seen that and I was in frame. So now what we want to do is want to take this piece here that's in the middle and fold it over. And like I said, make sure you got it lined up. Do the same on the other side. Get it pretty even. Okay, hopefully I'm in frame. I wasn't sure if I'm in frame while I'm doing this. So take this side, okay, and this side here. Okay, so this box should hold just like when you use your sticky strip. Now what happens is these flaps are going to go down over the box, and this will come over, and there is our box. So cute little box. I like it. And then you just take your finger and you just open it up just like that. So that is our box. I like to crease this a little bit better. Sometimes when doing boxes, this is why I really like to crease, because you want your folds, you know, really nice, and then this will fold over perfectly. Okay, so this is the beginning of our box. Okay, so I'm going to set this box aside, and we are going to get the next piece, and that is that 5 by 7 inch piece of the Garden Green, and we have 3 fold lines. Okay, we have 3 score marks, so we need to fold on those score marks this way, and then we need to fold this one the same way, and I want to make sure, I'll give you so you can see, because this is going to be fitting in our box. Okay, let me go ahead. So you got this fold is going this way, this fold is going this way. That third fold, you want to fold it into a mountain. And what I mean by a mountain fold is it goes up like a mountain. So these 2 are valleys here, and this is a mountain fold. Okay? And make sure we get a good crease on that. So this is what the inside of our box is like. So it will fit in like this, and this is the way it will go. So make sure when you fold, that middle score line goes up into a mountain fold, and then you just push it aside like this and see valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold. So just make it look like this. Then the next thing we need to do is we need to get our decorative label out, and this is the one I used because I think it looks very cute, as you can tell in this one here. I think it looks really sweet. and pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and just eyeball this. Now you want to do it about halfway, okay? And I do it to where you get these little indent marks here. See those little marks right there? That's about where I do it too, and I just eyeball it. If you want to measure from here to here, from here to here to make it super accurate, you can. Like I said, I don't do that. I just eyeball it. So I'm just going to go in here, and I'm going to get that somewhat centered. I think that's pretty good. Does it look pretty good to you guys? I think it looks good. So I am just going to do that and just press. I got to press kind of hard. Of course, we have things flying around. And this will give us the inside, okay, where our card is going to go. Now this is where your X-Acto knife comes in, okay? And you also want to have a ruler because you are going to do a little bit of cutting. I'm not worried about this piece here. I do have a self-adhesive mat underneath this when I am using my X-Acto knife. You don't want to just do it on a table. That would be awful. Do not do that. So what you want to do is you have a crease, your mountain fold right there. You want to go up probably about 1/4 of an inch above that line, and that will be your first mark. And what I mean by that is, like, you want to start about right here for your first mark, and then your second line would be here, just to give you a little slit. And what I do is I just take my little card, and if you want to do it this way, you can. Let me see if I can find a pencil or a pen. Here's a pencil. If you want to mark your slits, you can. I go about, like I said, about 1/4 of the way up. Okay, and I will go ahead and give this a little mark, like right here and right here. Okay, I hope you see that. Now I'm going to lift it up because I'm just marking where my card. Can you see those little dots that I just did? There's one here and there's one right here. Okay, that is just to show me how far I need to make my slit because I want my card, my gift card, to fall in there, right? You know, you want it to not be overly too big, but just enough so that your card will slip right inside that little slit. So what I'm going to do, and we're going to do this as accurate as we can. Like I said, I'm going about 1/4 of an inch up. Okay, can you see the 1/4 of an inch? I'm going to put my ruler right where I have my marks. Okay, and I'm going to make a slit. Hopefully I am in, okay, I think you guys can see it. I'm going to make a slit right here, and I'm going to make a slit right here, and this is to those little dots that I just made. Okay, so there is my slits right there. Okay, this one did not go all the way through. There it is. So that's my first slit. Now I want to move just a tad above that line, just a tiny bit, just to make a slot. Okay, just a tiny bit. And I start about right here, and then I put my little piece, my little ruler right here, and I take it down. Okay, so you just want a little tiny bit, and I'll go over here and do the same thing and make another mark. Okay, and there's your slit. So then what we do, hopefully I didn't get this all the way, and then we just go down. Okay, and that will give us a slit. And I should have a better X-Acto knife because my X-Acto knife seems to be getting a little bit dull, but it's not a big deal. I like to clean the edges up a little bit and make sure we got a nice, a little nice slit. So you can see the slit right there. Now I'm going to do the other side and just come down. Okay, and lift that up. And get that little piece out of the way. And there's your slit. Now, one of my slits might be a tad bit bigger than the other. It doesn't make a difference. It's perfectly fine. It works just the same. So I just like to make sure everything is nice and clean, if I have anything. Okay, so that's all we need to do with this X-Acto knife. So a lot of people don't like using these, but if you can find another way of doing it, you know, that'd be great if you can find another way of doing it. I have not yet to find that. a different way. So now what I want to do is, because we are doing cardstock to cardstock, you want once again to use either the fast fuse or the sticky strip, because you're doing cardstock to cardstock and you want it to hold. Now, one tip I am going to give you is when you do your slits, make sure your slits are to the back of the box. Okay? Do not make them to the front of the box. If you do, you're going to have issues, and it won't open. It'll make this clicking noise. It's awful sounding. You don't want that to happen. So when you do this, make sure the slits are to this part here of the box. Okay? So that it's not to the front here, it's to the back of your box. Okay? So now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and let's try to use some of this. And if it doesn't work for me very well, sometimes you have to get it going. There it is. Okay? And then give it a check. See, when you do the check, like this, and do the check, it comes out great. See this? And a check. You go down here and do a check. Now you want to make sure that you get some glue right to the bottom of your last, right above, as best as you can, right above that. It's not perfect, but it's okay. So now that's that side. And we want to go ahead and do this side too. And of course, I have to get it going a little bit because I didn't do it. There it is. And we have this one. And like I said, get it to, there you go, see? And we go here. So this isn't as difficult as I'm making it out to be. It's just that this is my first time using it. And I have a little bit of extra glue. But it is some strong glue. So this is just like using the red line tape, except for you don't have to peel the backing off. So now what you want to do is you want to slide this in, okay, in your bottom part. You want to slide it, and be careful when you do this, you want to slide it into this, you want to match up to the inside here of this box. Okay, so let's get it in there. Okay. Sometimes you have to work with it a little bit. It's okay. There you go. And then you want to put this into this side. Okay, and I really like doing it this way because I can get it in there a little bit better. Okay, and then you just want to give it a press down. And I like to press it with my bone folder because I like to get in there and give it some creases. Okay, make sure it's sticking in there very well. I like to flip it over this way, give the little creases, make sure it's all nice and sticky in there, and you're getting it very well. And press it down. And there is your box. So can you see where this is going now? Like this one here. So now I would take my card, and that's where my card would sit. So I just love this box. I think it's cute as can be. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to put some of our designer series paper on there. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll start with the inside of the box. Okay, I'll just take, this is the piece I want. So because you are doing paper to cardstock, you don't need to use the heavier tape. I am just going to use my snail. And we are going to adhere this piece, okay, to inside here. And you can kind of line it up a little bit. Try to get it accurate as possible. Sometimes we don't always get that way. Of course I didn't. That's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. But there, you can see, is the inside right there. Okay. Now we will get the other one and do the same thing. We're going to put this down at the bottom of the box. And take your time when you're doing this, a little bit better than I am. I'm doing for speed instead of more of accuracy because I'm limited to my time. So I would take a little bit more time with yours. Like when I do these here, my first ones, I take my time with them. They come out perfect. When I'm on film, it's harder to do it that way because you are, you're limited. So this is going to be the top piece. So I'm going once more to get this is my fast fuse. Let's get my snail. I mean, if you want to use the fast fuse or the sticky tape, that's fine. If you want to go ahead and do that, that's okay. But you don't have to when you do this. And I like to get it towards the ends as much as possible. Now, what I want to do is center this on this. Oh, everything is wanting to stick today. So I'm going to try to center this as best as possible. And it needs to come down a tad right there. Okay. So, yeah, I try to get accurate, but sometimes when you're filming, you can't always get as accurate as you would like. So basically, this is our box right here. Now what you want to do is let me get some of that sticky stuff off of here. What I have done, instead of, like I said, doing this one, I chose to do the Christmas trees. And I love these Christmas trees and how they look. They are so cute. I don't really know how I'm going to put these on yet. I haven't figured it out because this is my first time making this box into a Christmas one. So I'm not real sure exactly how I want to put these trees on, but we're just going to go by the seat of our pants and we're going to go and figure that out. But before we go ahead and do that, I wanted to show you exactly how to use these polymer stamps. So in this set here, I have used all these trees but this solid one. So I thought, oh, let's go ahead and do the solid one. So we are going to do that. And I have already did my sentiments. And I did them in cherry cobbler. And it says, a merry little wish. And then it says, for lots of joy at Christmas. So I already did that one. And here is a merry little wish. And there is that bird. I had to use that bird somehow because he was the cutest thing. And I stamped him on a piece of Whisper White with cherry cobbler ink, just like I did this one. And then this one here, I decided I'm going to put it in the inside of the box. So I already have my sentiments done. And like I said, I used cherry cobbler when I stamped those two. And once again, let's see. Let's use the garden green, of course, ink, because we are going to be stamping a Christmas tree. So I already put it on my block. Okay, can you see that? And then, like I said, I love these. These stamps are amazing. And just tap into it. Okay, and when you think you got a pretty good cover, then just go in here and lay it down. Give it a little push and up. And look at that. Oh, that is just beautiful. I get so excited when I see when I see things like this because they're just so beautiful. Here is the cherry cobbler ink that I had used to do several of my trees like this. I used the cherry cobbler. I only did one in crushed curry that you can see. So most of the ones I did was garden green and cherry cobbler. So I'm going to go ahead and I already used the garden green. I'm going to take this little one here, which is, if you turn it this way, it's kind of like a garland that you're going to put on the tree. But I am going to use the crushed curry because I already have most of them in red. And I wanted another one with the yellow. So we just get that. And I always look to see if they're done, if they look really and excuse me if you can see my head. Hopefully I'm not doing that. And I'm just going to lay that on that tree, and that's what it looks like. So now I will show it up, look up towards you, and you can see. And it's okay if these little things hang over. It's not a big deal, but now you've got a little bit of something on your tree. So I just love this. I can't tell you how much I love this stamp set. I keep telling you that. And it's true. So here is our Christmas tree punch. And we will open this up, and I'm going to cut a little bit of this off here because I can't get that punched out. Okay. So now we will just go ahead and we will slide this in here. Okay. Now because I did it a little bit too short, okay, you see how this is? It's a little bit too short and I can't really get it in here. So this is what I recommend. When you have a problem like that, you take a little, it doesn't matter, I'll just take some fast fuse and just put it on the top of it. Okay, so now you have a handle. Okay, so now you can get in there properly, okay, and get that cut. So let me get this lined up and get some of that little bit of white around it. I always take a long time when I cut. I just like to be a little more accurate. And of course I can't get this cut the way I wanted to. There we go. Okay, so that's what you do if you do your paper too short. Just get a little handle, a little extender, and away you go. So this is what we have. There's our tree. So like I said, here's all our trees that I have made, and I don't know if I'm going to use them all. All I know is I'm going to do something with them. So I'm just going, that was just, you know, to show you how to use these stamps. I'm not sure I will be using this one, but we're just going to set it to the side right now. So what I have done is I already went ahead and put some dimensionals on the back of these. Okay, and I am going to just take the paper off, and we are going to play around with this and see where we want to go ahead and put our trees at. I think that's cute. And like I said, you know, randomly put them on there. It doesn't matter how they go on there. You know, kind of, you know, you want to make it nice. If you want to overlap, you can overlap. Like I said, I've never made one with the trees, so I'm just kind of doing this by the seat of my pants, and we're just going to come up with something, and I'm sure it'll be okay. Let me see if I can get the rest of these little backings off my dimensionals. There we go, and let's put this one. So I'm just kind of like randomly putting them up and down, you know, putting one lower, one higher, one lower. But like I said, you can do them any way you want to. See if I can get the last dimensional off here, and then if I decide I want that 5th Christmas tree, we will put it on there. Okay, so I do like it, however, with the 4 Christmas trees. I think it's really super cute. If I put the 5 on there, it probably could work. But I also want to put my sentiment right here, so I don't know if I really like that. So I'm just going to leave it with the 3. But this is a way to show you what I just done. So I'm going to peel the backing off of my sentiment. Okay, and this, I forgot to mention, like I said, is the cherry cobbler. Okay, for the little bird, and that's the cherry cobbler that I stamped on the Whisper White. I also took my modern label punch, which is this one, and I punched it out. So this is the shape. That's what it looks like. And this is what I punched them out with, in case you were wondering what that punch was. And then I'm just going to put this right around here. So I love it. Look how cute it is. You know, like I said, just figure a way to, you know, to work it out, and it usually ends up working out somehow. You can always go back and try to fix it up, but I think that's really, really cute. So now what I want to do next is I want to open this box up, and I have this sentiment right here that I'm going to put on. And I don't have a sentiment in the inside of this one, but I thought because I like these two sentiments together, I'm just going to put this one, and I'm going to lay it somewhere in the middle. Okay. So now we have that sentiment right there. You can also go ahead and put a backing to this, like cut out another one of the modern label punches in cherry cobbler or garden green, and you can like back that up a little bit if you don't like it that way. I think it looks fine, but you can also give it a little bit more oomph by putting something behind it. I chose not to because I think it's cute. So anyway, this is basically our box. It is done. There goes our card. If you want to, you can get Rolos. I don't suggest anything that's too square, because this has a tendency to hit on top of it if it's too square or too tall, like, you know, too wide of a candy bar. It doesn't close right. So I chose to use the Rolo here to put that in there, and then of course, you know, do the matching color. I didn't have another Rolo, so do a matching color, and then this folds down like that, and that is your box. What a great gift for Christmas. I think that would be great to have somebody say, here you go. Even for doing this one for a birthday, a thank you, any kind of thing that you think. I love giving you know, gift cards, especially to people that you don't know what they like. So this is my box. Oh, I just love it. I just love these boxes and how they came out. Like I said, you know, if you want to put a Rolo in there, go ahead, get a little bit of, you know, I would say go ahead and get some more of this star paper and see how it has that, the Sahara sand and those stars. That's why I chose to use the Sahara sand as the box. So it looks Christmassy, and it's a little, not overwhelming, but enough that, you know, I think, oh, I can't tell you how much I'm in love with this. But anyways, I better stop talking, and get going, because this was our project for today, and there is both of them, and I just absolutely love these two. What a totally different look on these boxes. One from a happy birthday to a Christmas, but I am definitely making more of these at Christmas time. So that's why I said, this is why I started in October with my Christmas. I know my Halloween section I have not put out. I have a tendency to begin my crafting part of my holidays in October when Halloween is here, and I'm sorry that I have not put anything Halloween out there. I love Halloween. I'm not a big fan of Halloween, but it doesn't mean that none of you guys are out there who don't love Halloween. And I should have done some Halloween stuff, but I know some of us crafters and stampers like to do things way ahead of time. So this is the box. So anyway, that's why I chose to do Christmas. So, but anyways, I hope you know, guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming here and spending some time with me with my videos. I know a lot of people don't have time in the day to see these videos being done, but I'm glad you came today and let me give you that chance to see how beautiful these boxes can be, and what a great gift they would be for birthdays or Christmas or any holidays you can think of. You know, anything. Use these boxes for anything. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. If you would do me a great big favor, I have on the right hand side of my blog, it says join this site. If you would put your email address in there, you can follow me with all my up and coming projects. If you need anything or any supplies to these, you can go below this video and there will be a list of supplies. You click on one of those supplies and it'll take you right to the shop button. Or you can go to the top of the blog and it says shop, and you can shop from there. So if anybody has any questions or any comments, I love it when I hear comments from everybody, whether they're good or bad. You know, of course I prefer to hear the good ones, but I would love to hear from you. So, or if anybody has different suggestions on what to do with these boxes, I would love to hear that. Or if you have made any of these boxes, I would love to see what they look like. So anyways, thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you will give these projects a try. And if you need to find me, once again, I am at sweetserenitystamping.com. Thanks everybody, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.